Hello, this is Jason Heires, and this is the first edition of Essential Albums, and these are just, albums that are definitely worth having or listening to, pretty simple concept. The very first album I'm going to do is an album called Marquee Moon, and the band is Television, and this is what the album cover looks like right here. Okay, I'll give you a better look at it, just to make sure you get a good look at it. Alright. Now, Marquee Moon was released in 1977, and Television came out of the New York scene that produced a lot of bands like Patti Smith, the Ramones, the Talking Heads, Blondie, so on and so forth. Even Richard Hell, who was a member of Television and ended up forming his own band called Richard Hell and the Voidoids, is another. We could almost do another thing on his album called Blank Generation, and maybe we'll get to it eventually. But this is the first album for Television, and Television, the band consists of Tom Verlaine, who is a guitar player and a singer, Richard Lloyd, who is another guitar player, Fred Smith, who plays bass. Now, this is not to be confused with Fred Sonic Smith, who was with the MC5 and ended up marrying Patti Smith. So that's, even though Patti Smith came out of New York and Fred Smith came out of New York, it's not the same guy. And then also Billy Ficca on drums. Now, as funny as this sounds, this album really, in a lot of ways, kind of almost started a new genre of music. And there's a lot of bands that really owe their blueprint for what they kind of do to Television. So, like, for instance, a band like Franz Ferdinand could be pointed to as being a kind of an ancestor of Television, with the two guitar players that do a lot of work. And that's the thing about Television in this particular album that's really outstanding, is they have two really good guitar players who play a lot of really clean guitar solos, and there's just a lot of really great guitar interplay. So you got two guys that are playing complicated guitar parts at the same time, but it all works together and it weaves a really interesting sonic web. And the perfect example of this is the title track, which is Marquee Moon. And the title track is like 10 minutes long, and it really is just like a plethora of just great guitar playing. And, it's still an interesting song. It's well composed. It moves through a lot of different phases, so it's not just two guys that are just kind of playing a guitar solo over like a vamp or something like that. It actually moves through a lot of phases, and the guitars really work together as it moves through these phases. Some other great songs on this is the lead single, which was called See No Evil, and that's just a really fun song. It has a really cool little tag riff at the very beginning that goes, and it's really just a fun song. The second track is called Venus, which is Venus, based off of Venus de Milo. And the tagline is, I fell into the arms of the Venus de Milo. Well, first he says de Milo instead of de Milo, which is part of the joke. And of course the big joke is the Venus de Milo is a famous statue that doesn't have any arms. Another fun song is Friction, and Friction's another good example of the kind of the wittiness and the fun and the good composition of the songs and the nice guitar playing that just really is the hallmark of this particular album. That, it's hard not to like a line where he goes, "They're making fun of my diction." So, it's just a fun album, and I would strongly recommend it. If you really like guitar-oriented music and you really want to hear some really good guitar playing, and, this is nice, clean guitar playing where they really listen to one another and they play off of one another, this album's for you. Television didn't really do too many albums after this, and really this is the one album that really stands out in their catalog. So if you want to listen to Television and hear why people refer to Television as being an influential band, this is the album. All right, thanks. Bye.